Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the world of history's greatest fails. From disastrous military strategies to cringeworthy inventions, these monumental blunders remind us that even the best-laid plans can go hilariously wrong. So let's count down the top 8 greatest fails in history. Starting off, at number 8, we have the Edsel car. In the 1950s, Ford introduced a car that promised to revolutionize the automobile industry. The Edsel. With its bold design and high-tech features, the Edsel was marketed as the car of the future. But something went horribly wrong. From the very start, it faced criticism for its strange design, which some called the ugliest car ever. Sales plummeted, and the public was confused. Was it a luxury car? A family car? Nobody knew. Despite heavy investments and high expectations, the Edsel became a symbol of failure. Just 2 years after its launch, Ford discontinued production, losing millions. Today, the Edsel serves as a cautionary tale in marketing and product development, a reminder that even the biggest dreams can turn into historic flops. Next up, at number 7, in the late 1950s, China embarked on a bold experiment known as the Great Leap Forward. Aimed at rapidly transforming the nation into a socialist society, it promised industrialization and agricultural reform. But what happened next was one of history's greatest failures. Led by Mao Zedong, millions were mobilized to build backyard furnaces, melting down metal for steel production. But this steel was often low quality, useless for real industry. Meanwhile, farmers were forced into collective farms where crop yields plummeted. As a result, a devastating famine swept across the country. Estimates suggest that between 15 to 45 million people died from starvation and related causes. What started as a vision for prosperity turned into a catastrophic tragedy. The Great Leap Forward teaches us a critical lesson that good intentions do not guarantee success. In the pursuit of progress, we must always remember the human cost. Up next, at number 6, we have the Titanic. Once hailed as the pinnacle of engineering and luxury, sank into the icy depths of the Atlantic in 1912. Dubbed the unsinkable ship, it was a floating palace designed to provide the ultimate experience. But beneath its grandeur lay a shocking truth. As Titanic set sail, multiple iceberg warnings went ignored. On that fateful night, April 14th, the ship struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. In just over 2 hours, 1,500 lives were lost, not just to the icy waters, but to poor planning and hubris. Titanic's story is a haunting reminder that even the mightiest can fall. It teaches us to heed warnings, for sometimes the greatest successes lead to the most devastating failures. Next up, at number 5, in April 1961, a plan unfolded that would change history: the Bay of Pigs invasion. What was meant to be a swift operation turned into a colossal blunder for the United States. After Fidel Castro's rise to power in Cuba, the CIA recruited a group of Cuban exiles. Their mission? To overthrow Castro and spark a revolution. But as they landed at the Bay of Pigs, things went horribly wrong. With no air support and heavy resistance from Castro's forces, the exiles found themselves outnumbered and outgunned. Within 3 days, the invasion was a total failure. More than 1,000 men were captured, and the U.S. faced international embarrassment. This disaster not only strengthened Castro's grip on power, but also pushed Cuba closer to the Soviet Union. The Bay of Pigs stands as a chilling reminder of how even the best-laid plans can unravel, marking one of history's greatest fails. What lessons can we learn from this? Comment below. Halfway there, at number 4, on May 6, 1937, the Hindenburg, a massive German airship, was about to make history. It was the pride of the skies, promising luxury and speed across the Atlantic. But what happened next changed aviation forever. With 97 people on board, this 804-foot behemoth floated majestically into the New Jersey sky, but it was hiding a deadly secret. The Hindenburg was filled with hydrogen, a highly flammable gas. As it approached its landing, disaster struck. A spark ignited the hydrogen, turning the airship into a fireball in mere seconds. Witnesses watched in horror as the once grand symbol of progress became a scene of tragedy. Of the 97 on board, 36 lost their lives. The Hindenburg disaster marked the end of the airship era, proving that even the mightiest innovations can fail catastrophically. It's a reminder that in the pursuit of progress, safety must always come first. Next up, at number 3, in 1588, Spain launched the Spanish Armada, a fleet of 130 ships determined to conquer England. This massive naval force was meant to secure Spain's dominance in Europe. Led by the Duke of Medina Sidonia, the Armada faced unexpected challenges. From the start, poor weather and strategic miscalculations plagued their journey. Instead of a smooth invasion, the fleet was met with fierce storms and the cunning tactics of the English Navy, led by Sir Francis Drake. With faster, smaller ships, they launched devastating attacks. But the final blow came from nature. As the Armada attempted to retreat, a violent storm scattered the ships, leaving many to sink or be captured. In the end, the Spanish Armada was not just defeated, it became a symbol of hubris and failure, forever altering the balance of power in Europe. History shows that even the mightiest can fall. Up next, at number 2. On January 28, 1986, the world watched in anticipation as NASA's Space Shuttle Challenger prepared for liftoff. But what was meant to be a historic mission quickly turned into one of the greatest tragedies in space exploration. The Challenger crew included Krista McAuliffe, a teacher who would have been the first civilian in space. But just 73 seconds into the flight, disaster struck. An O-ring failure in one of the solid rocket boosters led to a catastrophic explosion, killing all 7 astronauts on board. The tragedy shook the nation and raised urgent questions about NASA's safety protocols. How could this happen? Pressure to launch had clouded judgment, overlooking crucial warnings from engineers. The Challenger disaster serves as a haunting reminder of the price of ambition and the need for caution in the face of innovation. At last, number 1, on November 9, 1989, the day the Berlin Wall fell, a moment celebrated worldwide, but was it really a success? This wall, built in 1961, divided families, friends, and a nation. It symbolized oppression and the Cold War's iron grip. But when it fell, hope soared. A reunified Germany seemed within reach. Yet what followed was chaos. East Germany struggled to adapt. The economy crumbled, unemployment skyrocketed, and former East Germans faced harsh realities in their newfound freedom. Instead of a seamless transition, the fall exposed deep divides. The promise of unity became a bitter struggle. So, was the fall of the Berlin Wall a triumph or history's greatest fails? Sometimes, freedom comes at a price.